So around about 2 years ago, I went completely vegan overnight, and it really did change my life for the better, but also for the worse. And today I'm going to tell you about why I actually started eating meat again, why I no longer am vegan vegetarian. And also I will expose some of the lies that the spiritual community loves to say about meat and spirituality when it comes to meat. Those things are absolutely false. So it's December 31st. I was heavily influenced by the things that people online were saying about eating meat. Meat is bad for you, you're a monster if you eat meat, the energy in meat is really bad for you spiritually, all these types of things that really just made me feel guilty about eating meat. So I was just like, okay, I should stop eating meat. I should actually stop eating animal products at all. So overnight, I completely went cold turkey on eating meat and any animal products. I remember it being December 31st, basically New Year's, and I ate my last piece of meat on New Year's, and then January 1st, no meat anymore at all. And that was really good. I felt amazing at first. At first, I did it just for the animals. I did it just because I wanted to not feel the guilt from eating those animals, that guilt that was induced upon me, which is absolutely terrible, and I'm going to talk about that later. Those were absolute lies, and you should never feel guilty for eating anything. So then, that's just how it went for like a year. I was 13, 14 years old at that time, and after a year, I decided I don't want to be vegan anymore, I'm just going to be vegetarian. Because it was just being very heavy on me. I just couldn't eat a lot of the things that I wanted to eat. I still live with my parents, meaning that sometimes they were just making food and I couldn't eat it, so I had to cook for myself, and I didn't always have the time to cook for myself. I just didn't feel like it all the time, although it was really, really fun to cook for myself. And as I turned vegetarian, I started to eat eggs again, I started to eat dairy products again. I was not eating like milk in itself, because I don't really like milk. I still do oat milk and almond milk now, but in general, I just don't like milk, still to this day. Although I would be open to try some raw milk, but that's not really available in the region where I live. And that's just how it went on for another year, until a month ago or 2 months ago, I started to eat meat again. I'm going to talk about that in a few moments. But what was really, really interesting was when I first started going vegan, it was just like as if so many things in my body had changed. I was still in this area of growing up. Like, I was literally 13, 14 years old, meaning I'm still in puberty, and even now I'm still going through puberty, and it is important for my body to grow, and it didn't really have some of the essential nutrients that you might need during that age. But I'm not a nutritionist, I can't really talk about that, but something that I was really fooled about, I was literally lied to, was the spiritual community, those new age spirituality people telling me that meat is bad for you because it has dead energy. You are eating all the fear and all the aggressions from the animal that you eat. That is absolute bullshit. Like, I don't even know how I was able to believe this. I mean, yes, meat does not have the most inviting, positive, high vibrational energy, for sure, but at the end of the day, the energy does not matter if it's nutritious, and your body needs that, especially when you grow up. Although I don't know much about that since I'm not a nutritionist, as I've said, but it's still important for you. If you think about it, plants also have dead energy. Like, nothing that you eat is alive. There's no such thing as eating something that is alive. If you were to actually eat something that is alive, you would really hurt the animal or the plant, whatever. Like, that just doesn't work. Whenever you're eating a McDonald's, that is also dead energy. Whenever you're eating a bowl of oatmeal, that is also completely dead. Like, that food is dead. There's no way of eating alive energy. So people saying that you're eating dead energy is completely bullshit. Like, there's no way of not eating dead energy. And dead energy is not a bad thing. Like, your body totally needs it. It makes it into new and alive energy. And by saying that those aggressions and that fear from the meat is going inside of your body, you're literally putting that meat on a pedestal and saying, okay, this piece of meat, this animal is now above me because it has the power to control who I really am and control my vibrations. Like, do you realize how stupid that literally sounds? And then a lot of people might say, but at least plants don't have feelings. And that also is bullshit. If you look at it from a scientific perspective, maybe they don't. But if you look at it deeper on a quantum level and also on a spiritual level, which is what this video is actually about, you will see that they do have feelings. There's even certain devices and certain studies that have been conducted that have shown that plants also emit certain frequencies. Like a tree, when it gets cut down and completely chopped up, it literally screams. Like, that tree screams in pain. It doesn't like scream literally, but you can hear it from the frequencies that it just emits. Also, there's like a device I once saw. There was a beautiful flower that was alive and nourished and everything, something, and they put that device there, and those were like really beautiful sounds that this plant has really given us out. We might not have the ability to hear those frequencies because as humans we are three-dimensional beings, but it is certainly possible to understand plants the same way that we can understand an animal. And if you think about it, it is also quite egocentric and narcissistic to put yourself and the animal above plants. Like, if you actually want to talk about spirituality in the senses of meat, you should know that we all are consciousness. Everything is consciousness. So I just wanted to debunk these weird spiritualists on here talking about those things. Yes, they might be right to a certain extent, but basically it's all bullshit. Like, if you were to just eat live energy, you would have to eat fruits and juices, and you would literally die if you eat just fruits. Like, there have been many people who are eating a fruitarian diet and just completely died. Like, they literally starved themselves to death. That is very dangerous. Fruit fasts and veganism can be great if you want to like do it for a fast or just a short amount of time, like 3 months or something, because that gets rid of a lot of parasites. But if you do it for an extended period of time, I mean like 2 years or something, especially when you're growing up and you don't really get all the nutrients that you need, that can be a little dangerous. And that's what I noticed in my body, and that's what I will talk about now. So at some point, as I was still not eating meat, I noticed that my body was craving meat. Not craving in the sense that you would crave sugar because your parents' sides or anything are telling you, go eat that sugar. No, but in the sense of like my intuition telling me, maybe you should try to eat meat again sometime. At first was very scared to listen to that inner voice, but at some point I noticed that, well, maybe I should just trust my body. Maybe I should just trust my intuition and try out meat. Like, nothing bad can happen if I just try out a little bit of meat. It's really not that deep. But I still didn't do it at first. Then I was in London visiting a friend of mine, and he was like doing a whole barbecue with a lot of meat and everything. And when he pulled out that meat, that wasn't for me because he knew I was vegetarian, so for me he made vegetables. But when he pulled out that meat, it looked so delicious, and I was just like really thinking, I would love to eat a piece of meat right now. And I really think that even if you're vegan or you're vegetarian, you should never forbid yourself to eat anything. Like, that has always been a rule of mine. If I ever feel like eating meat, I'm gonna do it again. So it's important to not put yourself into a mental cage because you're thinking, okay, I cannot eat meat, I cannot eat eggs, I cannot eat this because it's forbidden. There's no such thing as something being forbidden or something that you should feel guilty about. There's just this aspect of emotional freedom that comes when you have boundaries and you know, okay, I'm eating unprocessed food, I'm eating healthy stuff, and I'm eating the things that make my body actually feel good, and that's just what I'm doing. Speaking of guilt, the thing that really made me be like, okay, I definitely should start eating meat again, was when I detached from this idea of feeling guilty about eating meat or consuming animal products. And that was like a pivotal point in my evolution as a human being when it comes to my healthy diet. I did a lot of inner work. I had to do a lot of introspective healing to get rid of that guilt that was induced upon me. Like, guilt is never the way to go, even if your morals are against eating meat, which I totally understand. Like, I've been there too. That's totally not okay if you feel guilty about it. You should never feel guilty about anything, but especially not about eating food. If you feel guilty after eating something, that's really, really bad. And guilt feelings, they're gonna be like in your body on a psychosomatic level, and that is really, really bad for you. And that might lead to some diseases, or you might just limit yourself to such an extent that you feel guilty about literally everything. So please hear me when I say that you should not feel guilty about eating anything. I know I just repeated myself, but this is so important to understand. Once I got rid of the guilt and I was like open-minded and just feeling a little more free, that's when it's just like, okay, I'm gonna eat meat. So me and my mother did. We went into the grocery store, we got a good piece of pasture-raised organic chicken, which was a very light thing. I love chicken now. Chicken is like so delicious actually. And then I just put that into the pan. I put some avocado oil on it. I sprinkled it with some salt, and that was just so delicious. Like, when I put that meat on the table and I ate that piece of chicken for the first time, I bit into this, it felt like a moment of freedom. I know this sounds very dramatic, but I'm being for real when I tell you that this was a very magical moment. Not only did this taste absolutely fabulous, but it also just liberated me and made me feel very free about my diet. I felt as if I can finally choose again what I can truly eat. I can finally be myself again. I also noticed that I was feeling very saturated. Like, when I was vegan back then, I ate so many calories, I ate so much protein, I ate so many fats, appropriate amounts of sugar, like basically the best diet that everyone recommends on a vegan diet. But I just saw that I had to eat extraordinary amounts of foods to actually feel completely saturated, and whenever I did feel saturated, it just lasted for like 2 to 3 hours. It never lasted for half a day or an extended period of time. And please don't get me wrong, I am not a carnivore. Even if I've never tried it out, I just don't feel like it resonates with me. I personally find it disgusting. I would never eat a raw testicle. I would never eat raw liver as of right now. Maybe I'll try it one day because I'm an open-minded person. I would love to try it one day, but as of right now, I don't think I need this. What I now eat is really, really good, high-quality vegetables. Everything I eat is mostly organic. So I eat organic vegetables, organic nuts and everything. I eat organic meat, mostly chicken because I really love chicken. It's just so nice. And then I eat a lot of grains, a lot of peas, a lot of fruits, basically a mostly unprocessed and organic omnivorous diet. And this is the diet that I feel the best on. And this is exactly what I want to talk about in this video. You should always pick the diet that suits you the best. If you feel as if veganism suits you the best and you feel the best when you're vegan, then go for it. Be vegan. That's totally fine. If you feel as if being omnivorous is the best thing for you, go for it. If you feel very great on an animal-based diet, okay. That's your choice, go for it. And if you ever feel like this is no longer something that serves you, if you feel like you want to uplift yourself or you just want to change something about your diet because your intuition and your body tells you that this is the right thing, then go for it. You should always listen to your inner voice and really be confident with that. I am very grateful for eating meat again. And by the way, being vegan was one of the best decisions I've made because it has brought me on this path of actually being interested in nutritious things, of actually being interested in healthy eating, even though that was very healthy but also very not healthy, like at the same time. I am very sure that it has brought me a lot of things, and this has been a very important event in my lifetime, and I'm grateful for this. And I don't even cringe anymore. Like, I barely cringe when I think about my vegan days. Like, that's totally fine. It was just a path of self-discovery. So just see what diet works the best for you. Try out new things. Try out new organic and unprocessed things, and then see how you feel. I think every diet is totally valid as long as it's mostly unprocessed. And even if you do eat a little bit of processed food, you're gonna be fine. I personally really love the 80-20% rule because it's just so nice. Mostly you eat healthy, but if you do feel like eating a cookie, if you feel like having a latte with vanilla syrup, honestly go for it. It's just totally fine as long as you do not overdo it and you just have a very healthy balance there. So yeah, here I am eating an omnivorous diet, being 16 years old, kind of working on my acne, by the way. I do it internally through a lot of inner work right now, and I think that it will get better. It is getting better. But honestly, I think I should come to terms with that. You should never be like, okay, I can't eat a cookie right now. I can't have my iced vanilla latte because it has sugar in it. Like, if you want to have something with sugar in it once in a while, in moderation, I believe it is fine. Those people saying everything is poison, they're like trying to brainwash you. They're trying to put you in a state of fear. But fear and guilt are much worse than actual unhealthy food. But eat with confidence and absolute love and gratitude. Say some words of gratitude before eating, like whether you eat meat or a vegan dish or like whatever you're eating, even if you're eating just a simple fruit. Be grateful for the food that you're eating. Being grateful is the most important thing that you can put inside of your food. And if you eat an animal product, be grateful for this animal. Be grateful so this animal basically gave its life away so you can live. Oh, by the way, I mentioned iced lattes before. I really love having matcha lattes. I just saw that it makes me feel great. I wouldn't recommend coffee if you're a young guy like me, but I would recommend matcha. Have some matcha in appropriate amounts if you like. Matcha is not only one of the tastiest drinks that there is out there, but also just boosts your energy. It also has caffeine in it, but unlike coffee, it just holds your energy level for an extended period of time, and I just love matcha because it's absolutely beautiful, but it also feels aesthetic, and I would argue that matcha is the best drink out there. So I hope you loved my video about my journey of diets and the things that I've gone through. If you experienced something similar, feel free to share that in the comments, or if you have a different standpoint, a different point of view on these things, feel free to share that in the comment. I'm open for discussion. I'm always open for new information, and who knows, maybe I'll try out vegetarianism again one time. I for sure will. Subscribe to my channel, by the way, if you don't want to miss any other videos. Here you can see my other videos, and yeah, see you in the next video. I love you guys. Bye!